Hello and welcome to another almost live session. So today I'm trimming up some of these blocks ready to add the next layer. So while I was here I thought I'd just pop on and have a chat about something that's sort of relevant to what's been going on this week. So if you've been watching Sewing Bee, you will have seen that it was their recycle week, make, do and mend, and at the weekend, Sunday, is sort of a national thrift shopping day. And it made me sort of contemplate really sort of the importance of thinking about the ways that we use materials. So concentrating on measuring at the same time. In a lot of the classes that I do, the dressmaking classes in particular, we do work with recycled fabrics. I quite often use bed covers for doing my toiles because it's an inexpensive way of using fabric, but I could quite often get a wearable item from it as well. One thing that people notice when they start sewing, whether it's dressmaking, quilting or anything else, the expense can quite often build up. So it makes us look at different ways of sourcing fabric, or even the way that we use fabric. So for those of you that have followed me for a long time, you know I recycle almost everything of the scraps of fabric. Wadding, I usually stitch that together and reuse. The smaller bits that I don't use or can't use for the sewing projects gets used for stuffing. So even if I'm using new fabric, I am getting the most out of it. But I do go quite often to charity shop and look for fabric. One of my early quilts that I did, one of the first ones that I did for to order, that was all from recycled shirts, dresses and skirts that had that were cotton. It's amazing how much fabric you can get from a shirt. And that went to make a duvet cover, some pillowcases and a cushion or something. It made a whole set. So I've always been on the lookout for other sources of fabric. But what got me thinking was, not so long ago I was reading a blog post. They were based in the US, so I don't know whether it's more of an issue there than it is here. But they had done a post about recycling fabrics, and then got quite a bit of a backlash over how people sewing were taking fabrics, clothes, whatever, from other people that probably couldn't afford to get them anywhere else. I think that came from apparently on TikTok. There is a growing following for accounts where they go in, get something from the charity shop and then repurpose it. And I think probably the way it was done, it sort of created this backlash of anybody sort of using items that they bought other from what they were intended. So it gets you thinking then about how you use things, how it's going to be, how other people are going to think about it. And then interesting, another one this week was talking about eco-friendly fabrics and things that are maybe advertised as eco-friendly may not be so eco-friendly as we thought they were. They talked about waddings that are made from plastic bottles. Yes, it's good that bottles are getting recycled and reused, the plastic, but then you're left with the fact that every time you wash that item you get in the micro plastics that are washed off. So there's terms about producing fabric. It has quite a large environmental impact, even if it's organic. Cotton uses a lot of water. So for me, I'm happy to use recycled fabrics, and I will probably continue to do so, because like a lot of other people, I only have a finite amount of money, and I have to make the most of it while I can. And when it comes to dressmaking, using it for doing the toiles is an economical way for me to do it, especially if I can get to wear the item as well. But then there's other companies that sell dead stock. So this is stuff that's left over that if it wasn't utilised, it would be going into landfill. So these companies take that and then resell it to the consumer. And there are quite a few companies now that are doing that. And that means then that any production costs that go into producing that fabric, you're getting value for money from it. So I think for all of us, it's about evaluating what we use, how we use it, and minimising waste. And that's what I hope I do here, and it's certainly what I try and encourage my students to do. And I'm very grateful for those that do supply me with quite a lot of fabric that comes from their clear outs, from recycling, or they're just finding new homes, or finding somebody who could use what they're not going to be able to use anymore. It's really, for me, it's always exciting, and it will always get used if I can't use it. I've got along the same building as the studio, there's an art group, and they quite often use what I can't use. So not so long ago I took sort of 3 bags of fabric down. They use like curtains, old curtains and stuff, for making their canvases for pictures, and for them it's a charitable organisation, so they have to be very canny about the way that they use their funds, and for them it's a bonus, and for me it's just sharing the surplus that I have. So it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts, how you feel about recycling fabrics, or using up as much of the new stuff that you have in a way that is showing a bit of respect for the environment and sustainability, and how that works for you and your crafting. So that's it for me this week. I've only got a few more of these to trim, and about using up scrap. All these centre 4 square units have come from my scrap tub, so you can see it in action, and hopefully we'll have quite a stunning result at the end of it. So look forward to hearing your thoughts. Just drop me a line below, or if you just want to send me a message, you can do. But I look forward to speaking to you soon. But meantime, take care and don't get too hot. Bye for now.